One of the things that became increasingly frustrating for a lot of Ravens fans, at least as far as the defensive side of the ball, was predictability and coverages in certain situations. I've talked about it many times on this channel and my old one, whereby Wink Martindale would be predictable in terms of the coverage that he was playing in certain situations, and so all teams had to do is recreate that situation if they were forced into it. I'm going to show you a 3rd and 7 here in a moment. That's a first down play action. Patrick Queen is over here as a Mike linebacker, and he's going to end up, on the opposite side of the hash from Baker Mayfield. Mayfield's here, and Queen is over here, and he's going to still be able to kind of track him down on the sideline when Mayfield escapes the edge pressure. It's couple of good, pretty cool plays displaying the athleticism of Patrick Queen on this first down play, and then on the second down play displaying how he takes on blocks better than he used to, better than he did last year. Particularly as we got to week 6, 7 onward in 2021. You see him taking on this pulling guard here. Not exactly the fundamental way that you would teach it, but he's definitely striking the shit out of that pulling lineman, and that pulling lineman outweighs him by probably 70 pounds. So we're talking about this guard here is going to pull, and Patrick Queen's going to take him on. So the point of this video is not Patrick Queen, but I'm showing you why it was so disappointing for the Ravens to be incredibly predictable in certain coverage situations. So that first down play was a play action. Queen showed his athleticism going from one hash all the way to the sideline. I think he got credit for the tackle. Maybe he didn't. Whatever. Just showing you what he's capable of doing from play to play. Because the second play, a power run concept, and he takes on the guard in the backfield. Disrupts the play, disrupts the pulling guard, and no real gap was created. No gap large enough for the running back to get through with any force and ability to cut. The gap was condensed, which is the whole point of taking on blocks with the correct leverage side. So anyway, that's a setup. 3rd and 7 against the Browns at home early in the football game. Very early, I think second possession for the Browns. And it's 3rd and 7. If you've watched this channel much or paid any attention yourself, you know what's coming. It's going to be a bunch formation, and the teams know we're going to play man. So we're going to get man here. Chuck Clark is in the box as an inside backer, so he's man on the back. We've got 3 DBs here, and they're manned in some manner on those 3 guys. And then we've got our free safety who's free. We're probably bringing 5-man pressure here. Actually, I don't think we are. I think Chris Board is going to drop out, and he's going to be part of the problem. Not a decision he made or a technique mistake, but you can see that Chuck Clark and Board run into each other, and the outside receiver, what I call the Z, ends up wide open because you get 2 Ravens defenders, essentially guarding one guy. I don't think that this guy's actually attempting to guard the receiver. I think he's just trying to get around everything. My point is, teams knew we were going to play man against bunch. This back crossed Mayfield's face intentionally. That was the whole call. This is a very professional designed play. This back is crossing face because they know that Chuck Clark or whoever is the Mike linebacker is going to be manned up on him, because the Ravens play this coverage so much under Wink Martindale, 2 bunch formations. Under Macdonald, we're not going to be this predictable. I cannot show college all 22 film on my channel for some reason, but other people can. So I'm not going to. But he's not this predictable in these situations. It seems to me he's intentionally unpredictable, which is a good thing if the Ravens players can execute all those coverages. As we get the end zone angle, I'll talk about the specifics of what the Ravens defenders did on this play, but I don't necessarily think that it's these guys' fault. I mean, yes, they could align better and communicate better. Marlon is typically going to be man on the point man in a bunch set. In this case, it's Tavon Young. Tavon Young is here. Marlon is trying to recover and go with the outside receiver. So we'll get you the end zone angle so you can see it a little bit better. So Tavon is on Landry. At 84 is going to go underneath of this like shield concept stuff, and Marlon's going to try to get over the top, and he's just way too late. And I don't really blame him because we're playing the wrong coverage for a compressed bunch formation. Not saying you can't play man, but it's quite easy for the offense to manipulate you in terms of crossing people. Landry's going not vertical, but he's shielding Tavon Young, and Humphrey gets caught up in the trash because he's being told by the coach to align and play man against a formation that's generally difficult to play man against. So, having said that, there's going to be some of you who say, "Well, you can play man against a bunch." Well, yeah, you can. But what you don't do is you don't you don't just tell these guys it has to be man no matter how the releases are. Let's start here. Let's say the back releases to this side. Obviously, Chuck Clark's going to go with him. Cool. There's not going to. Chuck Clark is now out of the way. The middle of the field is somewhat vacated, but from the context of actually covering and the guy you're assigned to cover, that would actually be a good thing because it would get Chuck Clark out of the way. The Browns know this. They cross face with the back. Chuck Clark steps over here. I think he runs into Chris Board, and then Tavon Young and Humphrey get caught up with each other as well. It's all related. It's all related. Look, you've got two guys going with Landry. Now, is it possible that there's a coverage mix up here? Yeah, I mean, Marlon looks like he's running with him, so maybe Tavon messed it up. My point is, there has to be some type of way to get into a different coverage to at least create some indecision in the quarterback and the offensive coordinator's mind as he is calling the play and as we line up. Go ahead and show man, and then play something else. Zone it off, or at least allow the guys to switch it when people cross up like this. I'm not sure why our coverage ever evolved versus bunch. You can tell me, I mean tight bunch, not a wide bunch. You tell me if you saw instances, and it's a first down, obviously. If you saw instances of our coverage evolving, against these compressed bunch formations. To me, under Wink Martindale, it seemed like the Ravens defense got exploited consistently, regardless of who we draft, regardless of who, comes back. If Tavon Young is back, whoever, they're going to be more multiple against different formations. Wink was very rigid and uncompromising with the coverages he was playing. With you could say, oh, when you have Marcus Peters and Humphrey and a healthy young, Jimmy Smith, you could play man like we did a lot in 2018, 2019. Yeah, I agree. But it's about more than that. It's about being really predictable with playing certain coverages against certain formations. And then all people got to do is execute the route and give the quarterback a little bit of time, to find the guy who's wide open. This is not an isolated example. I'm only showing one of them because Frank, one of the guys in the Discord, one of my patrons, was like, "Hey, you've put a lot of offensive videos out. Let's do a defensive one." So this morning I looked at some stuff and I thought, well, what can I talk about? And I can't show again. I'm not going to show college all 22. I'm not going to. I have plenty of it of Michigan. I mean, I would love to do stuff with that, and I do a little bit of that in the Discord and the online database that I've set up for my patrons, but I can't put that on my YouTube. If you want access to that, you got to kind of join my Patreon at least for a month and then check it out and tell me if you like it. But we do have Michigan defensive cut-ups done, and it's kind of cool to watch. People can access it whenever they want. I can go over it with them. We're not going to be this predictable in 2022. Will there be other ways that maybe Macdonald and the staff can be manipulated? I mean, sure. There's, everybody gets figured out at some point during the season. But this right here, I mean, this was unconscionable. This type of stuff happened probably 6 to 8 to 10 times a year in these third down situations. And people would line up in bunch. And when I say this type of stuff, I mean someone being this wide open. Teams lined up in the bunch on third down and probably 60 times during the year. Maybe not 60, maybe it's 40. But in any case, I'm talking about someone being this wide open because we're getting crossed up or we're getting picked. Or, I'm willing to admit that, maybe Marlon or Tavon, one of them messed up the coverage and ended up doubling him. But, it's also possible that Board was supposed to be part of the coverage because we knew somebody, that somebody was going to run this little under cross route, and Board gets picked, by Chuck Clark, and then now he can't recover. But to me, even Board looks like he's running with Landry. So there was clearly some lack of execution here on the Ravens' part. That's not the point of the video, but you certainly can point that out in the comments section. I think I'm open to other ideas, but the point is the Browns knew the coverage we were going to be in because we're in it like 90-95% of the time against bunch on third down because that's Wink's style. I don't think he adjusted to the players he had very well at all. That's illustrated in the Bears' fourth down situation when Chris Westry, got burned badly because he was left out on the island. Very unfair situation to him. And I think that, those situations happened often in 2021 and in 2020 and 2019. Those situations happened because of Wink Martindale. It was time, and I'm glad that we've got a younger guy in here. Me personally, I was very excited, for the opportunity to maybe get Ricard, the guy who spent time with the Seahawks. But we've got Macdonald, a guy who has, a different mentality than Wink, and someone who is going to be more multiple. I trust that, and I actually have film of that I'd like to show you, in an isolated situation, not on YouTube. Anyway, let me know what you guys think of the video, and if you enjoy this type of thing, talking about the weaknesses that were there defensively in specific situations, and how at least those things will not be large issues moving forward because we got rid of Wink Martindale finally.